Hi and welcome my friends to the show that never ends, and I've worked on the theory if I use one of these I too could be good at football like Jack Grealish. What do you think?
Gareth Bale, they all do it.
They do. I brought it into fashion. I just want to say that. They obviously saw this at some point when I wore one before and thought that's what you do to be good at football.
Your trim is getting very long now though, isn't it?
Yeah, you need to move a frazzle, Kieran. You've got a horrible light on your face. That's it.
It's not very nice.
Well, you know, you brighten up sometimes when you get up in the morning. This is actually Monday morning. Went to a prog festival up in Camden Town at the famous Fiddler's Elbow. I say famous, probably famous to me, nobody out there. It is very famous. And I saw tons and tons of brilliant music. So I'm on a high. How about you, Kieran? Are you on a high at this time in the morning?
I've just woken up, mate. No,
just
of course I'm not.
Okay. Well, we've got lots to talk about. And of course, the first thing I need to do, I wanted to look how many managers have been sacked. I forgot to do that. I forgot to do lots of things. And we'll do that again next week. What I do know is Ipswich manager has gone.
Yes. Twitter is very unhappy about that.
Who? Sorry?
Twitter is very unhappy because good old Paul Cook does provide a lot of memes.
Yes, he's a good laugh.
With the way he speaks, so
yeah,
that is quite unfortunate. Hopefully, he gets back in the job soon, so Twitter is happy again.
Okay. He's a bit. Are you watching, Paul? He's a bit of a donkey, I have to say. He is a Sam Allardyce, but with no knowledge of football. Is my book. So very similar, but without a clue. Whereas Sam Allardyce does understand football, whereas I think this guy hasn't got a clue. And so he goes out there, given a ton of money, gets rid of a load, brings 2 ton in, and then doesn't know what to do with them. Who does that remind you of? Manchester. No, we won't go into that. So, in fact, Ollie, you've got your job at Manchester United, mate. Very suitable, one feels. I don't have all that, what happened on this day, etc. We have got a timer on today of 45 minutes. So we got to whiz through, and we will start the quiz, Kieran. We will do the quiz. And then we've got a quick thingy of London, if you remember, London footballers versus other parts of the country. I don't know whether we can include Scotland, simply because you'll find it really difficult to find a decent Scottish footballer.
I thought you said it was London versus Manchester.
Oh, that's right. London versus Manchester. You're right. Yeah. Oh, good. Yes, the team.
I'm switched on.
Not where not where they were born.
Yeah.
The teams. Okay. How many points did Liverpool finish the season with? This is 1920.
Oh, we'd go straight into our quiz, are we?
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to have the ding quiz type thing because I don't have time today. This has got to get out there. I've got loads of people to deal with, especially all the lists that your mother's given me of things to mend.
I'm sure.
So, first 5. How many points did Liverpool finish the season with? I can give you a choice of 3.
In what year was this? Which season?
1920.
99.
Yeah. Is that right then? Because he's got 90. Yes, which is a club record. Which team finished second?
Manchester City.
Yeah, this is going to be donkey easy, isn't it? I keep saying donkey. Why do I say donkey?
Donkey.
He always calls you donkey. What was the points difference between first and second?
Oh, I don't know that.
Shall I give you the 3 answers?
Yeah.
10, 14, or 18?
10's too little. 14 would probably sound about right, but I think they were quite crap that season, so I'll say 18.
18 is correct. There you go. And how many goals were scored during the season? Oh, dear. I can give you the choice if you're after it.
Please do.
75, 85, or 95.
It's not 75. 85 seems a little bit low, but 95 seems a bit high. 95.
Oh, we've got one wrong.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was 85.
Weren't that good then.
Mark 1. Boom.
That's one Christmas present gone.
Yeah, that's one Christmas present gone. Absolutely. There ain't a lot left, mate. Who was Liverpool's leading goal scorer?
I'm assuming it was Mo.
You're correct. So we got 4 out of 5 so far.
That's all right.
So that's all right, isn't it? That's all right. I'm disappointed with one of your answers, but you know.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay. What are we on here? Round 11. Okay. How many Premier League titles? I've got to try and pronounce this.
Oh, here we go.
Is it Thibert, Courtois? One? Shall we give that one a miss?
Thibaut Courtois.
Is it?
Is that?
Yeah, that'd be right.
The Chelsea goalkeeper.
Okay.
But is it? I don't know. Do you remember?
That's probably right. It's Thibaut Courtois. Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Yeah.
How many Premier Leagues has he
won? I'm on form
won?
this morning. I'm on form. Let me just check the other questions. Yeah, I don't have it.
And
don't have any problems.
How many Premier Leagues has he won?
Yeah,
is it?
How many Premier League titles has he won?
2?
Yeah, you got that. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's good considering you haven't got a clue what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I have to ask the questions myself.
How many times did Janino sign on loan or permanently for Middlesbrough? Now, there's not an easy one.
Well, because they've asked a question, it suggested that it's going to be more than 1 and more than 2. So I'll say 3.
You're correct. It was 3.
Yeah.
You're not stupid, are you? Sorry for sounding surprised.
Actually, you shouldn't say that because at our Secret Santa thing for Christmas dinner the other day, I bought what I thought was mini bottles of alcohol and chocolates.
Yeah.
Turned out it was fragrances and bath bombs. The person who ended up getting the present wasn't very grateful. You didn't try
one, I hope. You didn't try one. No.
The person wasn't very grateful. They were like, "What on earth is this? Why have you got me this?" And I was like, "Oh, whoops."
At least you didn't. But you didn't have to admit it, did you?
No, but it was just so funny that I kind of just laughed out loud myself and realised how stupid I was. So
because you could have got away with that. You see,
I could have
just quickly said, "What a stupid thing to buy!
Yeah.
Who bought that?"
I could have just said it was Nathan, but I didn't think that quickly.
Who got given it?
One of Nathan's
male or female?
Male. Right. He said he's going to give it to his sister for Christmas.
Okay.
So,
what was the squad number that Thierry Henry wore on his shirt for his whole first stint at Arsenal?
14.
That is correct. You've only got one wrong. Okay,
right.
Sorry for sounding surprised. No. Which squad number did Frank Lampard wear on his shirt for his entire time at Chelsea?
Number 8.
That is right. I wonder how you're getting on, Paul. Paul got 4 last week. Can 4? You? Yeah, out of 10. You didn't do very well last week.
Did I not? I can't remember. This was like the 1980 Liverpool Champions League team.
That's right. Can you name the 4 Premier League clubs that Michael Owen played for?
Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United. Wait for another.
Oh, that's a dodgy. Yeah, you don't get a point for this naming 3.
Oh, surely.
It's the 4th one is the difficult one.
It must have been on loan or something. Or maybe at the end of his career. Blackburn.
No, it was Stoke.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? That's where he went after United.
Oh, dear. 8. You got 8.
It's not bad still.
How disappointing.
That's a first at uni.
How disappointing. As a father, I feel broken. Okay, moving on then.
If that's what matters to you as a father, then I think you're the one in trouble.
Kieran's quiz time. Right, there's Kieran's quiz time come to an end. And moving on, I did have a number of things I wanted to talk about. And of course, what's the time going like?
35.
What, we've done already?
No, we've done 10.
Okay. There were a couple of points I wrote down that we can discuss before anything else. And this is before even discussing the football that's been. And I thought these were interesting points. One is Wycombe have already faced the top 8 football teams in their league away. They're gone. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
What a bonus. Didn't pick up many points, but it does mean they're gone. We ain't got the top 8 to play away. And the rest of the season.
We get to play them at home later on and take points off them, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, that is a real bonus, isn't it? I never realised that until I heard it. Well, obviously, that's a bit obvious, really.
Now you think about it, it's like, oh, yeah, we did do that. But no, that is helpful, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought that one was worth mentioning because that is big. And we've got Burton tomorrow night, haven't we, at home? That
should be one of the ones you win.
I mean, it's disappointing I'm not going to be there. You can watch it, of course, can't you?
What, if I buy it on iFollow?
Yeah.
I'm not spending 10 quid. I could spend 10 quid.
Or not all the other things like Spotify and alcohol is fine, is it? Yeah. Not drugs, I hope. Right.
There's surely going to be a free online stream somewhere. I'll find it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how, I mean, not that we're going to suggest that's how we watch the Premier League.
No, don't do that.
No, we're not going to say we do we?
Amazon Prime. That's how I watch it.
Yeah. It's the Australian sort of, is what I didn't realise that Sky have employed so many Australian commentators. No.
Who would have thought?
Brighton haven't won since September. The last 10 games, Brighton have not won. That wasn't interesting because everybody talks about them as doing really well. Is that good?
They were, weren't they? They won they won their first 4. And were top of the league.
That's shocking, isn't it?
It's bad now, isn't it? This is where teams have their little periods where they do really well, like West Ham. And they will drop off at one point. And Brighton have near enough fallen off a cliff.
I mean, everybody spoke about get that Brighton manager in. He's great. Would we?
It's a bit like Brendan Rodgers at Leicester, isn't it? Because they're doing very poorly now.
And Everton.
Yeah.
So we'll come to those 3 teams, I feel, are worth having a little chat about, don't you? They're the 3, aren't they?
The 3 ones that should be doing better than they are.
Other things, Everton I've got written down. The other two. Mendy. What's happened to Mendy in goal? Did he just have a rough one? Or
must have done. Allison had a very rough one at West Ham as well, so I think you can give him some slack. Although he shouldn't have done what he did.
Mendy, we're going to give you some slack. And the other one was Jack Grealish. Is he being played out of position?
He's barely been played, is he? He's been on the bench for a lot of the most recent games. Kind of feel sorry for him because there is going to be this thing about he should get a certain number of goals and assists because of his price tag. If you look at his goals and assists for Villa, they're not that exponential. Like, they're good, but they're not, unbelievable. It's not his game to get all the goals and assists. So I think he may come under a bit of unnecessary scrutiny.
I mean, that was his game for Aston Villa and all the free kicks. That's what he was on there for. Fall over and score the free kick, wasn't it? Yeah, well, they were just sort of the three things that I thought were rather entertaining. We didn't discuss the referees, which this is a 2-minute job as well. I thought this was entertaining, but not worth going on and on about. And that is, I've got a list of the English Premier League referees. Now, I have a list of cards given. Well, actually, it's 16. And I think this is way, way, way interesting that there's only one referee in the Premier League that has handed out more cards to the away team than the home team. Whereas all the others, all the others, is that right? No, hand out more tickets. Yeah, that's right. They hand out more tickets to the away team, except for one, and that's Anthony Taylor, who hands out more tickets to the home team. Now,
can we call them tickets from now on? That's a great way of saying it.
Yeah,
tickets.
Yeah, you get your yellow ticket, park in the bus.
Yeah.
I mean, that is shocking, isn't it? It's not, or is it style of football you play on a away game? I mean, is that the referee's fault or is that the football team's fault? There's the interesting. What I don't have, you see, is that, well, would the saying the number of fouls, would that help me? Or is it that the referees are giving fouls,
Well, just like with XG, they should have X, Y, but the Y just stands for yellow cards. If you know what I mean. Like the likelihood of you getting a yellow card based on the challenge you make, that could be quite interesting. And number of fouls that a team commits. But then you could also argue that that's also influenced by the crowd. So it's a bit difficult to tell.
I wonder whether there's a stats on this. There must be for the year no fans were in the stadium. I wonder whether yellow cards for the away team has gone up. I would look that up, actually, because I think that'd be quite entertaining. But what's also interesting is our friend Mike Dean. Don't we all know him? I mean, he's more famous than most of the Brighton players, isn't he? A referee probably goes out. I mean, when he signs his little book, he's probably handing them out to the kids at the end, isn't he? Can I have your shirt? I mean, he is, isn't he? He's more famous. I mean, there's a few on here. Stuart Atwell. I mean, we all know his name, don't we? Michael Oliver. Yeah. Cards given. Mike Dean hands out 4.02 on average cards a game. That's pretty high, would you think?
Yeah, that's. I wouldn't say it's horrendous. Actually, if it's average, then that means he probably gives out like 7 or 8 a game as well, which ain't great.
And the lowest is Simon Hooper, who hands out 3.
Well, there's a reason you don't have a clue who he is.
No.
I've never heard of him.
No. Mark Clattenburg we have, haven't we? Recognise his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he hands out the same amount. 3. But then it bumps up to 4 for Mike Dean, and that is 25% extra. I would say it's quite a bit. Maybe I'll be interested in refereeing decisions and where they learn when the card comes out, because pretty unpredictable during a game, isn't it?
It can be. It's very, very subjective.
I always think that's a yellow, and he decides, well, actually, it's only been 10 minutes, and okay, so he's lost a leg. It's only been 10 minutes.
It was a bit like it was the first foul committed in the Merseyside derby the other day that was probably worse than all the others, but he didn't give it because it was the first one.
I also think where on the football pitch should make a difference, not just the foul. You see, it shouldn't just be a punishment to the player, because quite a yellow card is hardly ever a punishment, really. It's sort of taking one for the team. I mean, they're taught that the forwards should come back and hack him down rather than defenders, because it won't make much difference.
Yeah.
But it should be to the inconvenience of the team. So if you hack him down while they're obviously in the plus and going for it, even if it's only a touch, you should get a yellow card.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it should never be an advantage to the team that commits the foul. It shouldn't be an advantage to them, should it?
I think that's just unfortunately one of the aspects that you might not be able to change, because it's not like if it's a counter attack and you give away a foul on the halfway line, you can't just move the ball up close to the penalty area where you're assuming the team is going to get to.
No, but you should give the yellow card out.
They normally do for those sort of things.
They do usually, but not around the box. They don't. I mean, if players got a yellow card every time they act Grealish down, they wouldn't have a football team on the pitch at the end. But it's worth it. It shouldn't be worth it. Should it?
I do agree.
But often it is. It's worth taking him out. And it should never be that. It should never be that.
It doesn't seem the most moral way of dealing with it, but then it's a bit difficult to go the other way and do something else.
Yeah. Okay. How long we got left?
22, so we're halfway.
Okay.
Already.
Yeah. Okay. Ballon d'Or results. Messi won it.
Somehow.
How?
People like his name.
Jorginho come third.
Don't even. Is he even
Salah
in the...
comes seventh. Jorginho come third.
Is Jorginho even in the top 10 midfielders in the Premier League? I'm not even convinced he is.
Mason Mount come 19th. Lukaku come 12th. Don't get it. I do not understand that. De Bruyne come 8th. De Bruyne's had a shocking season.
It's one of his worst years.
He's had a shocking season. He's not even been playing.
Benzema came 4th, which he's been good, but there's a bit of like, whoa, he's been that good? Don't think so.
What's old Robert for Bayern Munich? The old Poland, I'm not even going to try and say it.
Lewandowski.
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, what has he got to do? If he can't win it this time, he ain't got bloody hope, has he?
I think even Messi, when he got up there, felt a bit bad, didn't he? Because he mentioned about Lewandowski in his speech, just being like, yeah, he should probably have won it last year. Well, he should definitely have won it last year. And he probably definitely have won it this year as well. But I mean, those journalists who vote for it.
I just thought that was shocking. Interesting that it takes place in France and a Paris Saint-Germain player won it. Thought that was interesting. Wouldn't have had any...
Maybe, but somehow I don't know. But you know how it works. It's all like it's a journalist from each country votes for the top 5 players. And you get some weird and wacky ones.
You do,
Like-
and that is definitely a wacky one. What is Messi doing up there? And then,
Yeah,
of course, there was that big chit chat, wasn't there, about Ronaldo, the lies of the guy that run it coming out saying that,
yeah.
and he straight away
Ronaldo-
come out and said, "I did not say that. That is a lie."
Yeah. But did you see what Ronaldo's? I don't know whether it would have been Ronaldo himself or Ronaldo's social media team. There was a post made by someone saying that the Ballon d'Or was manipulated and Messi shouldn't have won it. Ronaldo's actual Instagram account tweeted facts underneath it, and it was just a bit like, "Oh, didn't mean to do that one, Cristiano."
No,
but they deleted it obviously because of the backlash.
Well, you have to say, what a load of crap. I mean, really. I mean, I think that suggests if you were a decent footballer and you're nominated, you wouldn't even bother turning up for it. It's a bit like suggesting the Eurovision Song Contest are the best singers and the best bands in Europe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that the same as this piece of paper with the top 30 on it?
I think even before this year, people were starting to doubt the Ballon d'Or, and I think this year's just been like, "Oh wait, this is a stupid award." If Lewandowski doesn't even win it this year, so yeah, it's lost a lot of its credibility, unfortunately.
Is Messi's family? Do they do lots of writing for newspapers?
Well, I mean, he has
journalists.
Well, there's 3 kids below the age of 10.
Do they vote for it? What a load of crap. Messi, really, really. Poor old Robert, he must be wondering what he has to do. And Jorginho must really rate himself when he does his pass backs, mustn't he?
In the last 2 games, he's given away 2 goals himself.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Incredible. Well, maybe he rates himself so high, it's not his fault anyway. It's just the way it goes. Okay, that's that. And now 10 minutes. How long we got left? 20 minutes, roughly.
17,
right. 18. 7 minutes. We put a team together. 4-3-3, Kieran. Okay, we want a goalkeeper from London and a goalkeeper from Manchester.
Wow. So from London, it's either Mendy, which is probably be Mendy, or Ramsdale.
Interesting, that one. Mendy, I mean, okay, a couple of games, but he's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Ramsdale has been a shock.
Yeah. But he hasn't done it for that long. That consistently, has it? Some of his saves, you kind of think he's made that look good, as opposed to it actually is good sometimes. That's just the opinion I get. He always flings his arms about like wildly before he actually saves it.
Which one's that?
Ramsdale.
Right, do another impression. That was good. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you too, a goalkeeper. Okay,
go Mendy.
Okay,
I think the other one has to be Edison, probably. And De Gea has a couple of shockers, doesn't he? I don't think Edison's that amazing either, but I think he might be slightly better than De Gea in recent years.
Yeah. Okay, we got Mendy in goal. Okay, we got 4 at the back. Let's go left.
So you have either Luke Shaw or Cancelo from Man City, and then you have Chilwell. You have Tierney from Arsenal. Masuaku from West Ham has been quite good recently.
Who's that guy that's taken Tierney's place in the Arsenal team? Because he's left Tierney on the bench, hasn't he? The Arsenal player.
Tavares?
Don't know. Is that him?
I think his name is Tavares.
So somebody's actually left Tierney on the bench, which he must have really peed off about. Well, surely.
I think it has to be Cancelo.
Oh, really? Does it?
Cancelo over Chilwell, I'd say. Some of the some of the passing from Cancelo is insane. Not that Chilwell hasn't been very good this season as well, but Cancelo is being talked about as being better than Robertson. I think if you're up to those sort of standards, then it's kind of fair enough that you get in this team.
Okay, right back.
You have Reece James, Chelsea. The Arsenal right back, I think he's Japanese. I can't remember his name either. Has been very good.
I'm not even going to try.
No.
It's not sing, song, sang.
No.
Oh, that's not a chance.
Man City, you have Kyle Walker, but I hate Kyle Walker. And
So
at United,
facial
you have
what he thinks.
And United, you have Wan-Bissaka, and he's not getting in.
We're down to Chelsea then, aren't we?
Do West Ham have anyone? No one better, I don't think.
Crystal Palace.
Palace.
Don't forget Palace.
Danny Ward. He's not better than James. I think I'll go Reece James.
The Wickham count as London? No. Otherwise, we'd just walk it, wouldn't we?
Tell you what, Brentford, London.
Yeah. I was thinking that.
Might need a striker.
Yeah. And West Ham get on there. But anyway, James, yeah. So we got London in there. Okay. Right, the middle two then. Centre-backs. We've got two centre-backs.
So we've got Diaz and Laporte from Man City. You've got, won't even talk about United centre-backs. Can't be asked.
No.
Chelsea, you have Rudiger, Thiago Silva, Christensen. Arsenal, Gabriel and Ben White. West Ham have a couple, but I'm not sure they're quite good enough to get into this team. I think you've got might be both of Chelsea's centre backs, to be honest.
Really? They're running this so far. That's 4 Chelsea players. Do you realise?
Their defence is that flipping good. I mean, the other day was the first time they conceded more than 2. So most of it was down to themselves.
So that's Rudiger and
Thiago Silva.
Yeah, I like him.
You could argue maybe Diaz over Silva from Man City, but I do really like Thiago Silva.
Well, Manchester aren't going to score many at this going rate.
No.
Right. 3 midfielders.
So who have we got? We have Man City, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Rodri. United, you have Pogba, Bruno, Fred, McTominay. Arsenal have Ødegaard, Smith Rowe, Partey. Chelsea, Kante, Jorginho.
Saka, what does he count as?
Saka, I'd say he's more of a winger.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of Chelsea's midfielders, even though because Kante got 5th in the Ballon d'Or, didn't he?
Yeah, they're missing him. They're missing him, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Chilwell and Kante, they're missing them.
I do like Kante, but it always seems as though he turns up. He always gets talked about like 1 in every 10 games, as opposed to every game.
Right.
I've never been that huge a fan of him. Jorginho's getting nowhere near this team.
3rd in the Ballon d'Or.
I'm almost inclined to pick all of the Man City midfielders. Rodri, De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva. Unless you want to put Pogba in for De Bruyne. I'm shocked I didn't get a response from that.
No, I was like, well, it crossed you said Manchester, and I was thinking Bruno, I don't look. He pisses me off as a person because he's a weak little, and he'd fall over.
He is a twat.
Yeah, it's the whinge. It's the whinge. I can't stand footballers. I'd rather they stand up and give somebody a punch than roll around. I'm in pain. I'm in pain. I can't that. Ugh. But
his face does annoy you.
He's brilliant. I mean,
he is good.
He is brilliant. He has fault, but so does De Bruyne. I think Bruno often has mind you, recently hasn't.
I think I would prefer to have De Bruyne in my team, though.
Yeah, okay then. So that's Manchester. So interesting.
Purely because Bruno.
We got the whole London sort of, virtually at the back, 3 out of 4, and now we got the whole of Manchester in midfield. Okay.
This isn't just. Do you reckon it's going to be just a Chelsea and Man City combined 11? Near enough is.
Well, so far it is. But this is where things change, because here, 3 at the front, I think West Ham come into play, don't they?
Well, for going strikers, I think it's between Antonio, Ivan Toney, and I think you have to include Ronaldo.
You have to.
Lukaku, I just can't be asked. It's not that big a fan.
Absolutely not.
Aubameyang's crap now for Arsenal.
What about Mr. Crystal Palace? Where does he fit in?
Zaha.
Yeah.
He could be the left winger, couldn't he? But I think who's left wingers? You've got Grealish. You've got who's United's left winger? I think that's Rashford. I'm not putting Rashford in.
No. Not unless you would just want to shoot from anywhere and badly.
No. Chelsea's is Hudson-Odoi, who's good, but he doesn't get in the team. Arsenal I think it could be Saka actually.
Well, that's where I think this is where we go. If you look at how they play, Ronaldo on the left, Antonio in the middle, and Zaha on the right.
Yeah.
Tony is a bit close to Antonio, isn't he? Similar.
Yeah.
That's where one comes off and the other goes on, and Ronaldo comes off and Zaha goes on.
I would like to see Tony at one of the bigger teams at some stage. It's quite like signed for Liverpool, to be honest with you. I'm not sure he really fits our system, though, which is the only problem. Yeah, I can agree with that front three. Ronaldo, Antonio, and Zaha. It seems a bit weird not putting any City players in. I think you would be able to argue Grealish into there.
Don't have a number 9.
Don't have a number 9. Mara's been quite good recently, but I've never been that huge a fan of him. Yeah, we'll go that front three.
Okay, so we end up with 5 Manchester, 4 London. Pretty even, actually. So we've got London. Oh, of course, that only adds up to 9. Who's been sent off? Yeah, I forgot the goalkeeper. That's not good, is it? 3, 3, 4, 1. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 London and 5 Manchester. And so it works out this way. Got Mendy in goal from London. Left back, Cancelo from Manchester. Right back is James from London. Rudiger, Silva in the middle from London. In the midfield, we got Rodrigo, De Bruyne, and Silva from Manchester, and up front we got Ronaldo on the left from Manchester, and Antonio in the middle from London, and Zaha No, Saka from London.
Oh, you're putting Saka in instead of Sahara, are you?
I think.
Yeah.
Well, did we
Okay,
put the wrong? Did we have Zaha, not Saka? Difficult, those two, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which one?
I'd go Saka.
Still London.
Saka. Yeah.
Poor old Zaha. I always feel like he misses out just by that. I feel a bit sorry for the bloke.
I do hope he goes somewhere.
He deserves more. He's better than Crystal Palace, but he's not quite.
Yeah. He's not quite City, is he?
No. Okay, how long we got, Kieran?
6 minutes.
Right, pick a game. One game and we'll finish.
What happened this weekend?
The world is your oyster, as they say.
We won't talk about it, but big up Divock for scoring in the last minute. Chelsea lost to West Ham. Go with that.
Well, let's go with that one. Chelsea, West Ham. Oh dear.
Not the only team to lose to West Ham this season, though, are they?
No,
quite
but I think that actually was about. I think that was a fair score on the way Chelsea have been playing. I think they've got away with a bit of luck recently. And I think that luck run out with a team that play bloody hard and as a football team, but they're going to, as we've said before, we do think they're going to do this, but when it comes to those big games, they're going to do that. Aren't they?
I think they are kind of the reincarnation of Wickham in the Premier League, aren't they? The team that flipping works hard, doesn't necessarily have the greatest players, is a bit weird in their kind of formation. I mean, Antonio used to be a right back and is now up front, and yet they're fourth in the league now, aren't they? So they are definitely overachieving.
And they can beat anybody on their day, but it's just not going to be every game, is it?
They beat Chelsea and Liverpool at home. I mean, that tells you an awful lot about what their team is like and what the manager is like. Can adapt to different styles, evidently.
He's not a manager for, I was going to say top four, but one of them is West Ham. But he's not a manager for Liverpool, nor a manager for Manchester United, nor a manager for Manchester City. But he is a manager for West Ham or Wickham. We'll have him.
Without him, yeah. After Gareth leaves. But yeah, I mean, obviously the third goal is whether it's lucky or whether it's skill, flip nose. Doubt it is skill. Could argue Mendy should have saved that one as well, actually.
A bit unfair. I mean, that was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and he would have been surprised as well.
Yeah. But it's a good result for the rest of the league in terms of, Man City and Liverpool in terms of catching up.
Three teams this time. Yeah. That's good, isn't it?
I really do hope. I hope it does stick like that, and it is 3 teams all the way up until the end, because that's going to be
2,
exciting.
3.
Yeah,
and they can all lose.
I mean, the fact that it's near enough over a third of the way through the season, and everyone is still a bit like, no idea which way this could go. I mean, that's exciting. I think the only reason Liverpool will be stuffed when it comes to the African Cup of Nations, if that happens. Chelsea will be fine. They'll only lose Mendy in goal, really.
I have to say, I think old Klopp cannot complain. You buy those players, you know it happens. Simple as that.
I think
you can't complain buying a 38-year-old and he gets worn out quicker than everybody else. You cannot complain. I think you get them knowing.
Of course, you've got to consider that. Regardless, though, it is a silly time to have a tournament. whichever way you put it. If you want the African, if you want African football to get onto that higher pedestal, you have to have it during the summer. But of course, he does know that, and hopefully he has planned for that. And I think he probably would have done. Do we have the firepower still during those games? I don't think we do.
Not to score an average of 3 a game, but you have got the firepower to win them.
We have the firepower to win them, but it's going to be down to who? Jota, Firmino, Origi, Minamino.
He had a lot to say about Origi at the end of the game, didn't he?
The bloke,
he was
so
overdoing it. So was he telling Origi bugger off? If you want to get anywhere,
not quite. I think he was just telling the truth more than anything. Like Origi doesn't get in our team regularly.
Do you know how many goals Origi scores? He's played about 100. Do you know 100 games for Liverpool, but only mainly as substitute. And when you see how many goals he's scored for 100 games, it looks minute. But of course, most of that is sat on a bench. But his actual goal scoring rate is something like about 1 every 78 minutes of time on the football pitch, which is pretty good, isn't it?
The bloke can finish. There's no doubt about that. It's just every time he's ever started a game for Liverpool, he's never looked the same as what he does when he comes off the bench.
But you have to also remember everybody else has been playing for 70 minutes and are knackered. And he comes on fully fit, raring to go. And that must make a difference. He's on there not to play good football, great passes. He's on there to stick the ball in the net and go wild, isn't he? He doesn't have to be in the right places. He's not having to do nice passes. You're not defending. He doesn't have to kill himself running back. He's on there to get the ball in the net as fast as possible because we are in trouble, isn't he?
Well, I mean, you could see that in the goal he scored. I mean, the ball gets cut back to him and he uses his, freshness and high levels of fitness coming off the bench compared to the centre back, just to kind of shrug him off, get an inch of space, and he's able to finish it.
Isn't that this whole thing?
He knows how to do
super sub, super sub, because actually they can't play 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, some players just do that, don't they? Solskjaer evidently knew how to do it when he came off the bench. I think Peter Crouch was always very good as well. So players just know what to do, maybe when they come off the bench, and know how to get the better of defenders when they're tired.
Okay, 2 very, very quick things. Our time must be up. One is have to mention Newcastle have won a game. Any big deal? Not really. Somebody else.
It was against Burnley, so I mean,
no big deal really. And the other one is looking at, we said about mentioning Everton. Is that the next manager to go out the Premier League, or would you like to pick another one?
I think it's got to be him, hasn't it?
Got to be, hasn't it?
Who else could it be? I don't think
Burnley aren't going to get rid of Burnley.
No,
not yet.
He'll be one that leaves at the end of the season if they get relegated. They won't do it during the season. I think Raf has got to go, hasn't he? Unfortunately, bless him. But Everton's one of those jobs in which you will not be successful. No. You just won't.
Won't. That's a job to pay you, not a job to be successful.
No.
Yeah. Nice pay though. I'd do it.
I imagine it's amazing pay.
I don't mind not being successful. I'm good at it. Okay, Kieran, I think we'll call that a day then, and I'll discuss with you some other time what we'll do next week. Okay, and we've managed to do a quickie. Right, I could have thought about 4 other things to say after that and decided against all of them. With that, Kieran, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And I'll say goodbye. See you next week. And I've got to find the stop button now.